So imagine going to the Goodwill outlet bins, but every pair is a Dansko or Doc Martens. Good morning. We're on our way to Detroit, Michigan, traveling out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have a couple of business opportunities, and today we're taking you on the adventure of acquiring hopefully a large amount of used shoes and clothing. Of course, I'm here with my beautiful wife, Melinda.
It's early.
And we'll take you with us, of course. The first opportunity is someone that reached out to us. His name is Jake. He got a hold of us through Instagram via Blake. If you're not following Blake, I'll put him down below. That's how Jake got a hold of us. He says that he has several pallets of used shoes with a lot of really good stuff in there, including Doc Martens and Birkenstock and such. That's bumpy. And the second opportunity is a gentleman by the name of Jason, who also lives in the Detroit area, who reached out to us about a week ago saying that he wants out of the business and he wants to sell his inventory. So it's a really nice opportunity. We said, hey, let's save a bunch of money on shipping costs, and we'll just come out to Detroit because we're going to be in the area. We're in the pickup, even though gas prices are extremely high. We feel like it's definitely worthwhile, and we'll still save a bunch of money on shipping if we go and just get it ourselves. The best case scenario is that we rent a U-Haul because we buy so much, and we take both the U-Haul and the truck back. The worst case scenario is that we fill up the truck. Anyways, I'm gonna focus on the road. We have about 2 hours to Detroit. Nice, pleasant, soggy, wet morning. We'll see you when we get closer. We're about 15 minutes away from stop number 1. The good news is that I was able to get up a bit early, run into the office and get everything shipped out from yesterday and like early morning today. And then yesterday Melinda and I prepared 100-ish pieces for Emily. So the nice part about having you know, a part-timer is that while we're gone, work still gets done. So that's the beauty of it. As soon as we get there, we'll turn the camera back on and start rifling through, hopefully, pallets of shoes, as Mr. J claims. So we'll see you there.
They've been out of here for years.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the other stuff, they'll probably...
Ooh.
Hello. Hi. Hi. I'm Melinda. So we're here. This is everything that we're going to go through. I think he said like 12 pallets. So this is clearly going to take us some time, but it's great. We see a lot of Birks on top, so that's a great sign. We're trying to figure out our system right now because obviously we can't lay all of them out and then go back and price them. So we're thinking we're going to fill up all the tubs here with about 20 pairs each, so then we can price a tub out. Otherwise, it's just going to be pretty unmanageable to keep track shoe by shoe. Yeah, we're just gonna dive in and get to work. Yeah,
there's a lot, and Jake said he did as much as he could to get everything kind of paired up, but you can see, like Melinda just said, there's a lot of goodies right on top. Yeah. So we're gonna just go through and hopefully find several hundred pairs of shoes to take with us, because honestly this is endless. So we might have to take a second trip at some point, or maybe even get enough to rent a U-Haul. I don't know. There's a lot, like a lot. So anyways, I'm excited. Like this is the most amount of Birkenstocks I've ever seen in my life. I see some Danskos too. I see some Doc Martens. I see some leather purses. Lots of good stuff. Well, this one's okay.
Well done.
We'll clean this up, we promise. Okay. That way we can just know that we've been through this thing. So imagine going to the Goodwill outlet bins, but every pair is a Dansko or Doc Martens.
You're like,
How's it going, Melinda?
It's good, and some fry boots.
And some fry boots. Like, it's just, it seems endless. There's a lot, but this is what we've picked through so far. We have 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna just fill up these tubs. They have a ton of tubs. They said we can have as many as we want, but we also brought IKEA bags. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So Jake went through and paired a bunch of these up and kind of separated, you know, the best of the best for us to pick through, save us some time. But it's definitely going to be a pickup load this time, and then we'll probably be back. He also has clothing and other goodies. Anyways, we'll check back in a moment.
How's it going, Nadine?
I'm feeling pretty tapped out. It's like being at the Goodwill bins, but every pair is Dansko or Doc Martens or Birkenstock. So it's really well. Look at the damage we did.
Yeah, so you want to explain where we are with the boxes now? We didn't even make it through all of them.
We didn't make it
but
through all of them. We
think we're going to be kind of tapped at our truck space at the moment. So.
Yeah, well, you can show them how much we stored it.
So this big old box is ones we're not taking. Not necessarily anything like terribly wrong with them. It's just like we have so many, we got to be really picky. So, and these are all ones that I'm going to start sorting by brand right now. And then I think a couple more boxes littered throughout here as well. So I think we did a good dent, Adine, I would say.
I'm very happy with it. Yeah, we'll do a count at the end. We'll see how much we end up spending, but there's more and there's more opportunity here. So this is a fantastic connection to make. So thanks, Jake. He's in the background. I don't know, you want to be on camera? You can wave.
That's Jake.
That's Jake. Jake looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. We're almost done.
So right now we're dumping the ones that we said yes to, and we're dumping them out, and then we're arranging them by brand in groups of 20.
Yeah, so easier to count. They're all flat rate pricing per brand. So this is all the ones. Those are Danskos, these are Birks, and then we have Doc Martens too, but we have a lot of sorting to do.
You are doing great.
Next. Here, I'll hold it and you push.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alright, so let's try to stack them so we can get them out of here. We bought some shoes.
Yes. So here you see, this is all the stuff that's going back to Grand Rapids with us.
I was doing so good. I think we stopped at the right time. We're pretty full.
Yeah, because we have to go back, what is there, like 4 more tubs?
Yeah.
5 more tubs? Something like that.
Yeah, let's go get them. Oh, there's more on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll be literally at capacity. I'm just gonna start sprinkling them on top now.
Mm-hmm.
Filling in the gaps.
So at this point we're just dumping them in now because we ran out of bin space. But there's some space on the side here and there's a little bit more room on top, as you can see. So hopefully if it lays all up on there. We do have another place to get to today. So whatever we buy basically just has to fit in our cab. So we'll see how that goes. We just ate lunch. Delicious. Alamir, if you're in Dearborn or Dearborn Heights, we're going to drive to our next stop. A gentleman named Jason reached out to us on the gram. He's gonna let us look through his stuff, see if we can buy his store. I wanna take a little food coma nap on the way over, and we'll see you there.
I'll add to the video this nap as well. It was just a compilation of one of those naps while she's in the car. Have a good nap.
So warm.
All right, I'll hop to the next. Okay, we made it here. So we just met with Jason. He's gonna let us shop his inventory. If I can find Melinda, I'll show you. Thank you, Jason, again for the opportunity. Really looking forward to picking through the stuff. He was just here. He had other business to tend to, so he's leaving Melinda and I here alone in a storage unit, and we're gonna shop the inventory, see what we can find. We're running very tight on space, but luckily it's clothing, so a lot of it can be squeezed. And now I just have to figure out which way to go. Melinda?
Marco.
Polo? 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 Marco? Marco?
Hello.
Ah, there you are.
Hey, you found me. So we're looking at.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, this heat is like frying my brain. We're gonna go through the storage unit. If you want to pan over, we've got quite a few bins to look through here. I think what we decided to do is count the pieces and do like an average price for everything, is what we talked about with Jason. So that should work, and it'll go a lot faster that way. So anxious to kind of get in there. I don't know how we're gonna get it how much we're gonna get in the truck. So
Yeah, we'll have to stop
That's the
after like
question.
4 or 5
Yeah.
IKEA bags and then
So-
reassess. But all right, so we're gonna do that. It's time to go picking. You know, the nice thing is that we don't have to like check every single piece because we'll recognize a lot of them. You know, he said there's gonna be a few that, you know, have flaws or might not be the best, but we're gonna recognize a lot of this stuff because this is what we sell every single day. So it should go pretty fast. I'm gonna stop talking and get into it.
we're currently stacking these in stacks of 20, and then we're gonna see where we're at because again, limited capacity. So we've made it through maybe half of it. I don't know.
No, not
Quarter
even.
of it.
Yeah, maybe.
These are all yeses so far. So depending on where we're at after we get these stacked, we might go through more. It's really gonna boil down to, do we have room in the truck?
Yeah, there's like these are good pieces, solid sellers that we found. We're gonna do stacks of 20 and then just count them out and go from there. All right, we finished. We think that we can fit these 5 in there. We made a deal for all of them. We're gonna get them into the car and get on the road as there's less and less air as we keep breathing.
Fading fast, you guys.
We just finished going through about a quarter, as Mulna just mentioned, and we made piles of 20, as you can see. We went through, you know, as much as we could.
You're so sweaty.
I am so sweaty. I'm sweaty, as you can see. There's no air movement here.
Yeah.
So we went through as much as we can in the limit of time that we have. The rush hour starts now. We want to get on the road as fast as possible. When we get home, or tomorrow, at some point where we're in a nice cool place and we're showered and not filthy, we'll run some numbers and kind of talk about this whole experience, because it's been a really wonderful experience so far. So thank you, Jason and Jake, for the opportunity, of course, and we're definitely looking forward to doing more business with you guys. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. I don't know. Bye-bye. I'll tell you one thing though, we're very good at guessing how much can fit.
Capacity we have, yeah.
We're 100% full.
Perfect.
All right, let's go hit up a thrift store. It's the
Good
next
morning.
day. Hi.
It is the next day. We are back at our warehouse. We're going to unload the shoes
And clothes.
and clothes. Yep, and
then,
clothes.
Then we're gonna math.
We could do some mathing. Essentially, that's our day. Unloading all of these, getting them into the warehouse, packing, and then we're just gonna list. That's usually our game plan on Fridays, is
Yeah.
list and draft for the weekend.
Yeah, we'll show you some of the highlights too, because I don't know how the footage is going to look, because that warehouse is pretty dark. But I know we're
Yeah.
gonna go back soon because now we know what to expect.
But we are gonna bring lights next time because there's a couple of things we've already seen on the bottoms where we just like totally missed a big flaw, which is fine. We kind of accounted for like
some breakage.
Yeah, like a 10% breakage, right? Where some of it's gonna be damaged or whatever. But lights will help for sure.
Yeah, let's get inside. It sounds, I mean, it looks kind of daunting, but most of them are already in tubs, which is awesome. And then we have all the duffel bags and a couple of returns, and that wasn't so bad. Here's what it looks like in the light. I think each tub probably fits like 15, maybe 20 pair. The crazy part about them is that there's like 225 shoes, which is basically a week and a day of listings at 30 a day. So even though it seems so massive, we're gonna go through these pretty quickly. I think we're gonna prioritize the Birks.
Yeah, because they're sandals, seasonal, and they're, well, those in the docks, but the docks will probably sell better in fall because Birks have a good margin.
Yeah, and they're summer, right? Summer sandals. So Birkenstocks, obviously, if you're new to this game, you know, they're definitely very much sought after. Most of them, you know, even if they're in a little rougher condition, as long as they're cleaned up a bit, they sell really well for us. And then, of course, made in England, especially these vintage style, or actual vintage Doc Martens do really well. Let's do numbers. Okay, so in conclusion, like a good essay, we paid $1,801 for all the shoes, and we paid $440 for all the clothing, with a stipulation that we buy the rest of his clothing, which is perfect.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about clothing. It's all like bread and butter stuff. There's really nothing too exciting. There's a couple
Patagonias.
Yeah, there's like one vintage Acme sweater, some wool stuff, but a lot of like Peter Milan dress shirts and polo dress shirts, and you know, basic stuff that we can make a $10 net profit on per item.
Bill payers.
So on the clothing, we believe that we can pull $1,400 in net profits, which is, you know, 140 pieces times $10 net profit per. That's net taxable income. And then on the shoes, we believe that on the low estimate end, we'll pull in a profit of $6,000. I'm sorry, that's all together. On the low end for shoes, we believe we'll bring in a net profit of $800 for the Docs, $2,275 on the Birkenstocks, and $1,800 on the Danskos. And the way we did that math was,
so we figured out what we generally make on average on those shoes when we sell them. So we figured it was about 25. We did 25 for the Doc Martens, and we had...
That's net profit, right? That's after what we paid for them, minus fees, you know, no shipping
because
it's all plus
shipping
shipping.
on our model. So that is...
Yeah, 25 bucks for the Goss is $800 net profit on the Docs.
Yep, and then 32 pairs of Doc Martens.
Yep, and we did
25 for the Birks.
35 for the Birks.
Did we do 35? Wow.
Did we?
I thought it was 25.
You're right, 25.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone whip out your calculator.
Yeah, so
I don't want to get
we
up.
had 91 pairs of Birkenstocks, which is wild. 91 pairs of, like, nice condition Birks, too. Like, we passed on the Birks where, you know, if something was a little off on it.
I think a reseller that does just thrifting for a living will probably take like 10 years to find 91 pair of Birkenstock. That's my estimate. And then on the Danskos, we did $15 net profit per, which I think is very accurate because most Danskos sell between $20 and $30 unless they're like special.
Right. And we had 120 pairs of Danskos.
Yeah, rough, plus or minus one or two. But yeah. So that net total for everything this trip is roughly on the low end $6,275, which I think is very much worthwhile, right? It was a long day. We, you know, the day started at 6 a.m. We hit the road at 8 a.m. You know, 5.5 hours driving round trip in miserable heat.
Yeah, so Blake, he's talking to Blake on the phone, and he's from that area. And he's explaining it. He's like, well, we're trying to get back on the road before rush hour. And he's like, well, rush hour is between like 2:30 and 6:30. So it's like, well.
Yeah.
And he was right. Oh, it was
rough.
Bad. It was rough.
we often forget, like Grand Rapids is not very population dense, but like the Detroit area and the suburbs of Detroit, like there's so many people. There's so many of them.
Yes.
There's so many of you
I was
out
like,
there.
why are there so many people on the road? Like,
Yeah, it was a lot. Which brings us to the other point too that we wanted to talk about a little bit, which is figuring out how we're going to process all this. And the craziest part about all of it is that it's less than 2 weeks of inventory at 30 a day.
Yeah, which
So
is, I mean,
it's not a
one
lot.
day you find 2 weeks of inventory. When you put it in that sense, that's not bad. So the fun part is always, of course, finding everything. Now the part is we have to get it listed. So as you know, it's 2 of us, but I'm with Jessica 2 days a week. And then we have 1 part-timer, and we did just bring on another part-timer. Pretty limited hours, gonna do some training and stuff. So how do we increase the amount that we're putting up every day? Because eventually we're looking at listing 40, 50, then, I mean, you get the idea, right? The more you're listing, the more you're making, the more you can afford to bring more people on to list more. So I think our end goal is like 100, 200 a day. We're not there yet, but if you use a service that you really like that's reasonably priced, let us know. And the service we're looking for is like, we give them the pictures and they do everything else. Like we don't want to spend time filling in the blanks of stuff because we can just do that and we can just list it. So
let us know if you use any service. We would love to know what's out there.
Or any ideas, like what do you do to like increase your listings, that type of thing.
Yeah. I think that'll do it for this one. We definitely appreciate you guys tagging along, and I hope you found it as exciting through the TV screen as us being there. We're already thinking about going back in a couple of weeks to sift through. Now that we know what we're getting into, what we need to bring is probably some hardcore gloves and some lights because we need to see better in there for sure.
Right, especially the dark shoes, and you know, like the Dansko bottoms are all black. So that's the one I was putting in the truck. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like huge flaw on it, and we just missed it, which I think we kind of thought might happen anyway because we were aware the lighting was pretty dim, and obviously we weren't moving at a snail's pace by any means. So it is what it is. Yeah,
it's just breakage. Anyways, until then, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this type of content. Check out our previous videos. We have tons of them. And if you need an accounting software, we have a Excel spreadsheet template. Link is in the bottom of the video. Check that out. See ya.
Take care.